everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of A Christmas Story, the 1983 Christmas classic. I know it's shocking, right? A movie called A Christmas Story is about Christmas, but I adore this film. I think it's just so well made and perfectly executed, in my opinion. I mean, everything from the story to the characters to the way it's shot, which right off the hop, I think is one of the coolest aspects of this film. I mean, this movie is based in a previous time. It is a period piece, and unlike a lot of the other ones, it's not all, you know, glossy and fantastic looking. It actually looks like it easily could have been shot in the era in which it came from, which I think is one of the coolest aspects of the movie. I remember when I was a kid, I had no idea that this movie had come out so recently. I mean, back a year after I was born. It absolutely shocked me when I found that out later in life. And I just think they did such a great job in this movie. There's so many moments in it that just always stuck with me. And like I said before, the characters, I think, are absolutely great. I mean, right off the hop, you have Ralphie, the main character, who, you know, he's this kid that I think a lot of people can really kind of see themselves in. And, you know, he's just absolutely lovable and hilarious. And he, at the same time, you know, he's the main character, but by no stretch of the imagination does he come off like, you know, he's the cool kid at school, but he's also not like the nerd. He's kind of in this nebulous area where everybody can kind of relate to him. He, you know, if you were more popular as a kid, you might be able to see him. He has lots of friends, whereas if you were more of an outsider, he's not exactly the coolest guy ever, which I also thought was a very ingenious way of writing him. And they put him in all these outrageous situations, and the way he reacts, I just think is great. And you have the rest of his family. I mean, I love the mom in this movie. I feel like personally she's one of the best moms in movie history. She feels like, you know, it reminds me a lot of my mom personally, and I feel like would remind a lot of people about their moms and like the way that she deals with their kids. Like one of my favorite moments is there's a scene where she's trying to discipline one of her kids, or not even just discipline, but convince the kid to eat their food, and the kid starts making oink pork pig noises, and the way she starts laughing beside herself, and then even though she, you know, she doesn't want to because she wants to stay serious and make sure this kid does the thing that she thinks that they should, she can't help herself. And I mean, that's moms to me. I mean, you know, that dual layer of, you know, loving but at the same time trying to be stern and all that. So I think she's such a magnificent character, and the dad, of course. I mean, the old man, as they always call him. I mean, he's absolutely hilarious. All of his little gripes and his fights and his ways of looking at the world, and when he gets an idea in his head, his inability to let it go. I mean, again, absolutely reminds me a lot of my father personally. I mean, for me, I feel like this movie has such a relatable family, and the dad, I mean, he's just absolutely hilarious. All of his intricacies are just make him such a fantastic character, and I adore the little brother in this movie, Randy. I mean, he's hilarious, and like he's of the four members of the family, he makes the smallest impact as far as like actual scenes and impact on the story, but he's also like hilarious whenever you show him, whenever he shows up, like the way he hides in little closet areas, not closet areas, but in I'm drawing a blank on the word, but you know, you open the door, he goes in in the kitchen, not drawers, but anyways, cabinet, that's the word I'm looking for. And like the way he is about his food, and just, I mean, I just thought that kid was great. And there's so many scenes in this movie that 100% have stuck with me for all the years afterwards. I mean, the various fantasy sequences. I mean, the scene where Ralphie thinks he's gonna be a big sheriff, and they have these like criminals running around that always reminded me of like the Hamburglar, and the weird way in which they move. That's great. The one where, you know, everybody's gonna be stabbed because he's gone blind. I mean, there's such memorable moments, like so outrageous, and you would never expect to see them in so like most Christmas movies. And then you have the whole thing with the kid putting his tongue on the pole outside and getting it stuck. I mean, I before seeing this movie, I had no idea that kind of thing happened, and it has always stuck with me. And like after he gets free, when he's walking in, he's got the gauze all around his tongue. I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous how much they have around him, and they can't. But I mean, such a great moment. Of course, the bunny suit. I mean, absolutely hysterical. Where he's where he absolutely hates the idea of wearing this clothes that a family member has got him, but he gets forced to do it. it, and the way in which the mother is just absolutely like excited and loves it, and the dad just is just right there relating with him and trying to fight on his behalf to either not put it on, or once it's on to get it off as soon as possible. And of course the looking around Christmas gifts, the whole thing with the Red Ryder BB gun where everybody's always telling him he's gonna shoot his eye out, and when he actually does shoot his eye out, I mean, it's just such a perfect moment. And when talking about his dad earlier, I mean, like I said, there's so many of his little intricacies that are just so great. I mean, the whole thing with the leg lamp and Fragile and all that, I mean, just so great. And when he's just absolutely beside himself every time it gets broken, and you know, is desperate to put it back together, and how the meaning it has for him. I mean, as a dad myself now, when you get older, these things that you have that mean something to you, and the idea of having them broken, and just the fact that he feels like he's being recognized. I mean, it's much more relatable now as an adult than it was as a kid, but it's still just as ludicrous as ever. And these battles with the furnace, and that when he goes down, and I mean, it's just absolutely hysterical. And of course, always getting angry at the dogs, and how that ends up playing out in the end of the film. I mean, just so great. And you know, and when looking at the characters in this movie, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the classic villains of the film, which I thought were so great. The two teens, or not teens, but kids that pick on Ralphie and Randy and all their friends, Scott Furcus and what is it, Grover Dill. I mean, they're so great. I mean, you have Grover, who's this little weaselly guy, and is just you know, tough because he's got the big Scott Furcus there with him, but at the same time talks a really big game. And the way in which they made Scott look, where you know, his eyes are like almost yellow, and I mean, the way he laughs at it, I mean, it's so great. And of course, the moment in which they get their comeuppance, I mean, it's just so delicious. I love this movie and pretty much every way. It's for me, it's an absolute Christmas watching classic. So every year when it's around this time, I will check it out, and I just adore it. So those are my thoughts on A Christmas Story. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. If you're a fan, if you've never seen it somehow, if whenever you see it you think of TBS, whatever. Other than all that though, hit that like button, hit that share button. It makes it much more likely that other people will learn this video exists and come and check it out and give me their thoughts, which would be awesome because I love talking about movies with people. And speaking of which, if you are one of those people who are new here, or you just haven't done it yet, please hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way, when you find out when I put out a new video, you can find out it's been out and you can come and check it out. Other than all that though, have yourself a good day.